This is episode 689, and I'm Greg Swanson. Today we're going to be talking about a subject that is near and dear to me, mastering self-discipline in 2024 and most likely beyond. Now I'm going to put some very, very detailed show notes up on the website that accompanies this podcast. So I'll give that information at the end where you can go find the show notes to support all this information. So mastering self-discipline, the ultimate guide. Without a doubt, mastering self-discipline is more crucial than ever. We have so many distractions. We have so many shiny objects, so many squirrels, so much everything. ADHD is on the rise. We can't hold our attention more than 2 minutes on YouTube or TikTok or anything. So self-discipline is about focus. So right now, we are training ourselves not to be self-disciplined. We are training ourselves not to be focused. We are trained without lack of focus comes lack of success. So without a doubt, now more than ever, we need to start embracing and building that self-discipline muscle. So whether you're striving to achieve personal goals, excel in your career, or simply lead a more balanced and harmonious life, self-discipline is the key to unlocking your full potential. If you want something that's going to take some effort, the way to get to it is through self-discipline, not by chasing shiny objects or the next cool thing. But what exactly is self-discipline? I'm using the word a lot here. You probably heard it also, but what is it and how can we cultivate it? So in this podcast, we'll dive deep into the art and science of self-discipline. We'll explore practical strategies, psychological insights, and real-world examples to help you develop this essential skill. So get ready to transform your mindset and your habits, because that's what it's all about. Because with self-discipline, truly anything is possible. So let's start off with what is self-discipline. Let's start understanding the core concept about it. So we'll look at the definition and significance of self-discipline. At its core, self-discipline is about choice. The choice to act in alignment with your long-term goals rather than succumbing to short-term impulses. This could take the shape of you're on a nutrition program and you sacrifice that for a short-term impulse of a cupcake. You're on a workout, long-term one, self-discipline is you wake up early and you go to the gym. Short-term impulse, oh, I'm tired, I'll sleep in, right? So self-discipline is about choosing your actions to align with your goals, your long-term goals and your objectives. So the difference between self-discipline and motivation, a lot of people say, well, I don't have any motivation. It doesn't matter. If you have self-discipline, it'll win out. Self-discipline helps you move regardless if you're motivated or not. Motivation comes from the outside. And if you're only depending on something external to get you pumped up to do whatever you're going to do, whether it's cook correctly, go to the gym, whatever else, and that source disappears, you're going to be SOL. But when you develop the self-discipline, it doesn't matter. You're going to take that action. You're going to eat the salad. You're going to lift the weights. You're going to ask for the raise, whatever that is, right? That self-discipline is going to supersede motivation. Motivation is great. It's important. It can get us started, but self-discipline keeps us going. So the role of self-discipline in personal and professional success is paramount. Without self-discipline, little is accomplished. Because imagine you start on a project, let's say you're at work, you start a project at work and you get halfway done and then you see something else that'd be cool. You jump over and get that done. Halfway done, you jump over and do something else. Pretty soon you have 5, 10, 12 projects halfway done, nothing's complete, and to your executives in the company, it may seem like you're doing nothing, which effectively you are. But so now we've gone through that. So let's take a look at the psychology behind self-discipline and how your mind works. And it's closely tied to the science of willpower, understanding how self-control functions the brain. There's a great book called Willpower, and it talks about we have so much willpower in the morning, and depending on our interactions throughout the day, by the end of the day, our willpower is less. That's why many people don't go to the gym in the afternoon, or they eat that 3 o'clock cookie, whatever it is, because the willpower is diminished, because they're using their willpower ineffectively for things that don't matter that much. Now, a lot of times willpower is used to avoid things. So we want to avoid the cookie, we want to avoid the cupcake, we want to avoid this, we want to avoid that. And that avoidance can actually diminish our willpower until we just give up and eat the food or do whatever it is. With self-discipline, the self-discipline is towards what we want, not what we don't want. So willpower would be used, don't eat the cupcake. Self-discipline is, I'm going to eat the salad. The willpower is, oh, I'm too tired to work out today, I'll do it tomorrow. Self-discipline is, I have my goals, I'm going to do it. So willpower and self-discipline go hand in glove. However, when willpower starts to diminish, we need to have that self-discipline to keep going. And so there's some cognitive biases that challenge self-discipline, right? And the cognitive biases are logical errors, oxymoron, that can cause people to make mistakes and suboptimal decisions. Confirmation bias. If you think it's too cold to run outside, you'll look at the temperature and you'll say, oh, it's too cold, because it confirms. And confirmation bias can also show up in other ways of how we think people behave, how we think they are. But confirmation bias can challenge self-discipline. Well, I just, lifting weights doesn't work. And you see an article, lifting weights doesn't work. Yep, it confirms it. But you'll miss all the other articles that counter that. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias is when you're looking for something, the first thing you find you agree with, and it agrees with your limiting belief. So we're going to talk about these biases in a limiting or disempowering belief. Again, lifting weights is not good. And you do a search on the internet, lifting weights is not good. The first article you come to, go, yep, that's it. You won't even do any more research. Your confirmation bias brought it to you. Your anchoring bias made it solid. The availability bias is what is available to you to find supporting information to your bias. And then hindsight is looking in the past. See, I lifted weights before, it didn't work. So we have these biases, and we have to know that those biases are at the root of our excuses and are at the root of our limitations. Self-discipline can work through those if you choose to ignore them or counter those biases with a good coach like myself. And so there's also the self-serving bias, which we do things for our own self, like, oh, I'm not going to go to lift weights because it works better for me. All of these are detriment to self-discipline and also creates an abundance of limitations in your mind. So let's look at some strategies, right? So one is setting goals, right? I've talked about this so much, whether it's the SMART goal or SMARTer goal formula, but we want to have goals, number one, that are outside of our comfort zone. We want to have them specific, motivational, achievable, realistic, time-bound, and then we want to evaluate our progress and regroup it. If we don't have a target to shoot for, we can't become disciplined, because we're disciplined towards something. I want to lose 10 pounds. That's a target. I want to lift 5 more pounds. That's a target. If you go, I want to weigh less, or I want to lift more, that's not a target. And you cannot develop self-discipline over some vague concept. Self-discipline, the goal is the cause, the effect is self-discipline. And so we also want to start building routines and habits, start with small changes, because when we start working on our self-discipline, it may be better to build up to it using the Kaizen principle. So let's say that you wanted to start waking up early to go to the gym. You wake up now at 6. Well, can you wake up at 5:45? Great. Then you do that for a week. Can you wake up at 5:30? Great. Can you wake up at 5:15? So you start making these small changes. When you get to the gym, can you add a pound a week? Can you add an extra minute to your sprint? Can you add, and we want to build these routines of when you wake up, you do this, this, this. Before you go to bed, you do something else. And I have a whole program, the Corporate Warrior program, that is built around, no pun intended, building routines and habits. So we also want to take a look at delayed gratification. We get done with a great workout. We don't go out and eat a slice of cheesecake. We put that off until we hit our ultimate goal. You know, if you're going to be losing 10 pounds and you're at 9, nope, you don't celebrate. You acknowledge and be thankful and celebrate each workout, each time that you hold true to your goal with self-discipline. But then when you achieve it, that's when you would celebrate. And there's ways of celebrating without completely derailing whatever success you had. And then accountability. This is where coaches come in. Seriously, myself or others, there's great coaches holding you accountable to do what you say you're going to do. And when you do it, you are building self-discipline. Basically, self-discipline, in another term, is when you say you're going to do it, you do it. Basically, keeping your word, right? You say you're going to go pick up the person at the airport at 2 o'clock in the morning, you do it. That's self-discipline. So doing what you say, accountability. If you find yourself flaking on you, a lot of times you would benefit definitely from accountability partner, a friend or somebody at work. Best yet, a coach to work you with it, because the coach can help you with the goals, can help you build routines, can help you come up with some delayed gratifications, and also hold you accountable. So a coach can help you with all this. So we saw some ways of building self-discipline. Let's look at some overcoming some typical obstacles. How to deal with procrastination and distraction. Well, that's where we want to have a goal in front of us. This is where goal setting comes in so handy, because if you say, well, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning, but I'm going to go this afternoon, you're procrastinating. One, do you know you're going to go this afternoon? What's the likelihood of it? Probably not much. And then, is putting off your what you're going to do, whether it's eating a correct meal, whatever that is that going to help you achieve your goal? The answer is no. Then you go, what is one small thing I can do to get me closer? Now, procrastination it's easier fixed, but also procrastination is tied to distraction, right? We say we're going to go to the gym and we go, oh, let me just check the news for a second. And then we get distracted watching the news, and we check our emails and we check all the stuff. We get easily distracted. Distractions, the best thing to do is put on blinders. If you look at horse racing, the horses have blinders so they don't get distracted with the other horses. We want to put up mental blinders, invisible blinders, and put stuff out of our peripheral. So smartphones could be put away and turned off if you're going to do some deep work. Other things can get in the way. So we want to make sure that we clear the environment and make it conducive for the self-discipline habit that we're wanting to do. And then the procrastination, we need to measure, if I don't do it, what's going to happen to my goal. And then stress and fatigue. Stress and fatigue, it's basically self-induced at some level, because stress and fatigue usually starts at work, and it comes from lack of boundaries, and it comes from saying yes. Hey, can you do this for me, Paul? Yeah. Hey, how about this? Yes, yes, yes. So we have a bunch of Mr. Nice Gals and nice guys at work who continue to say yes to everything. They can't manage the stress and fatigue, and then they're disciplined. I just want to go home and relax. I just want to go home. So the stress and fatigue, first we want to reduce it by using time blocking at work, and then additionally setting up boundaries to say, when your bandwidth is done, it's done. And when we can start to do that, we will get less input to chew up our bandwidth. We'll have more bandwidth to do the things that we like to do, and the stress and fatigue will diminish. And even if there is stress and fatigue outside, and let's just say we usually go to the gym for an hour. Can you just walk around the block for 10 minutes? We want to keep doing something that maintains consistency toward the goal, as opposed to abandoning it altogether. And this is a good way to battle stress and fatigue. Setbacks. This is basically grit and resilience, right? Resilience is when you get a setback, do you keep going, which that brings us to mental strength. And with mental strength, self-discipline is easy. It's simple, but it may not be easy. So handling setbacks is we want to embrace that mental strength, and I've done a lot of podcasts on that, but we want to turn those failures into opportunities for growth. In NLP, we say there's no failure, only feedback. So we look at what we did, we look at the result, and we go, oh, that didn't work. Let me try something else. And when we try something else, we are demonstrating resilience. And when it gets hard and we keep going, we're demonstrating grit. So as we handle these setbacks and find the learning out of it and keep going, we will be developing mental strength. And mental strength and self-discipline go hand. So let me now talk about some long-term benefits of discipline. You know, we can get improved focus and productivity with self-discipline. And focus can be looked at as an acronym, right? Follow one course until successful. And we follow it, which means when we get done, we are more productive than trying to get 5 things done at one time. Self-discipline says that when I'm doing my deep work, I'm doing my deep work and nothing else. And you'll get it done and you'll be more productive. You'll have enhanced mental and physical health because we're not distracted. You're not distracted. You're not chasing the shiny objects and the squirrels and all the other things out there, which drains the willpower, which drains the self-discipline. By self-discipline, you're saying yes to what's important and no to what's not important. And that helps you physically and mentally as far as strength and health is concerned. And you get a greater sense of life satisfaction and achievement of long-term goals. I mean, having that self-discipline to constantly take action every day to achieve a lifting weight, to achieve a deep work project for work, to achieve a raise, to achieve a promotion, to achieve, right? That gives us so much satisfaction because with self-discipline falls right into control of the 4 C's of mental strength. And when we know we controlled our outcome, man, we really feel good. There's great life satisfaction as opposed to going, oh, that was a fluke, that was a mistake, that was this. No, I had a direct effect on the result that I wanted because I set a goal and I got it accomplished. So practical exercises to strengthen your self-discipline. Daily practice such as mindfulness and journaling, right? Mindfulness is be here now. Journaling is reflecting on what worked for the day. So if you have a goal, you demonstrate self-discipline, and self-discipline at times coincides with mindfulness, but then you want to start journaling about it. What was the experiences? You want to journal on what worked, and so you can do more of it. Challenges and exercises designed to test and improve your self-discipline. You can come up with some. There's probably, if you have ChatGPT or any AI, you could probably say, give me 5 challenges designed to test and improve my self-discipline around working out, around eating, around relationships, around that, you know. But what we want to do is have those challenges so that we can test ourselves and grow. If we don't, quote, succeed in one of the tests, we go back and do it again. But this is a great way to have some fun, gamify it, and your self-discipline will increase. And you can also check resources and tools like my site and other sites that have great tools for self-discipline. I have a mental strength toolkit that can help you with that. Stuff from Mark Divine, right? SealFit, all of them. They have such great resources on staying disciplined. So we can read first, but then we always eventually have to take action on it. So remember, mastering self-discipline is a journey, not a destination. It's about consistent, intentional choices that align with your goals and values. By understanding the psychology behind self-discipline, adopting proven strategies, and learning from those who have mastered it, you can cultivate a stronger, more resilient mindset. Remember, the path to self-discipline is not easy, but the rewards are immense and definitely worth it. So take the first step today, commit to building your self-discipline, and watch it as it transforms your life in ways never imagined. If you like this podcast and want to see the abundance of show notes, please visit warriormindcoach.com. While you're there, you'll find other podcasts with their show notes and blog posts, and also how to contact me for a breakthrough session. Since you'll be on the internet, please visit me at LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.